Imagine this, the lights at Crypto.com Arena shining brighter than ever, the crowd buzzing with anticipation, cameras flashing, every single eye focused on the same spot. And there he was, Bronny James, stepping onto an NBA court for the very first time. But this wasn't just a normal debut. No. This was different. This was unprecedented. Because standing on that floor with him was his father, LeBron James. Together, they became the first father and son duo to ever share an NBA game. Now stop and think about that for a moment. Most players step into the league just trying to prove they belong. Bronny, he walked into history before he even touched the ball. And as he revealed later, those nerves, they were through the roof. On golf personality Grant Horvat's YouTube channel, Bronny opened up about the experience. He said it was surreal, crazy, in his own words. He wasn't shaking, but the pressure was real. Because when your father is one of the greatest to ever play the game, expectations don't just come from the crowd. They hang in the air with every dribble, every shot, every possession. That night, the stat sheet didn't sparkle. Just 3 minutes of action. 2 missed shots. 1 rebound. But here's the thing, history doesn't always come with a highlight. Sometimes, it comes with the courage to step into the moment. And Bronny did just that. Over the course of the season, he slowly began carving his own space. 27 appearances. 1 start. Just under 7 minutes per game. Not eye-popping numbers, but every step mattered. Every possession added a line to his story. And then came March, against the Milwaukee Bucks. That was the night Bronny showed a glimpse of what could be. 17 points on 7 of 10 shooting. 5 assists. 3 rebounds. For the first time, fans weren't just seeing LeBron's son. They were seeing Bronny, the player. Bronny, the competitor. Bronny, making a name of his own. But while the season told one story, the off-season began writing another. And this time, it wasn't about basketball. Believe it or not, Bronny James has picked up golf. Just 4 months into the sport, thanks to teammate Austin Reeves, he's already turning heads. His swing, his composure, even seasoned golfers like Tommy Fleetwood would have reason to take notice. Clips of Bronny on the course have already started spreading online, shocking fans who never expected this new side of him. And here's where it gets interesting. Because yes, Bronny has been golfing. And yes, LeBron has been right there with him. The two have hit the links together, enjoying the game. But the big showdown? The head-to-head battle to see who's the true golfer in the James family? It hasn't happened yet. Bronny himself admitted they're not ready. He says maybe in a few more months, once their games sharpen up, father and son will finally go toe-to-toe. And when that day comes, you can be sure the world will be watching. But let's bring this back to where it all started, the court. Because at the end of the day, golf is a fun addition, but basketball? That's where Bronny's legacy will truly be written. And now, heading into his second year, the question hangs heavy over Lakers Nation. What comes next? Will Bronny rise above the pressure, silence the critics, and take a step toward being more than just LeBron's son? Or will the weight of expectation continue to shadow him? One thing is certain, he's not running from it. He's embracing it. Every minute on the floor, every challenge, every setback, it's all fuel. And for the Lakers, a franchise built on legends and big moments, the journey of Bronny James is already one of the most fascinating stories in the NBA. Because this isn't just about a rookie. It's about family. It's about history. It's about a young man stepping out of the greatest shadow in basketball and trying to shine his own light. So, Lakers fans, the stage is set. Year 2 is on the horizon. The nerves will be there, the pressure will never go away, but Bronny has already proven he's willing to step into the moment. The only question left is, how far can he go? And make no mistake, we're all watching. We all know the GOAT conversation, the greatest of all time. Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Russell, Magic Johnson, and yes, LeBron James. Every fan, every analyst, every barbershop argument has its own answer. But now, Hall of Famer Tracy McGrady has dropped his own perspective, and let's just say, it's making waves. Tracy McGrady, one of the most electrifying scorers the league has ever seen, a man who knew what it meant to carry a team on his back, was on Gilbert Arenas' podcast Gil's Arena. And when the conversation turned to LeBron James, McGrady didn't just give praise, he laid out an alternate reality. A reality where LeBron would have been the undisputed, unquestionable GOAT. And the key to that alternate timeline? One of the most famous systems in basketball history. The triangle offense. Let's pause right here. Because if you know anything about basketball, you know the triangle isn't just a play. It's a philosophy. Designed by Tex Winter, mastered and implemented by Phil Jackson, it became the backbone of two dynasties, Michael Jordan's Bulls and Kobe Bryant's Lakers. 11 championships in 2 decades. 11. That's dominance built on precision, spacing, ball movement, and trust. And now, imagine LeBron James, 6'9", a physical force of nature, with unmatched court vision, operating inside that system from the very beginning of his career. McGrady spelled it out. If Bron had learned the triangle at a young age, his game would have expanded tremendously. With his athleticism, his speed, his agility, there'd be no debate about who the greatest player of all time is. Think about that. A young LeBron, already unstoppable in transition, already capable of seeing passes no one else could, learning how to dominate in a system that maximized spacing, movement, and team balance. That combination. It could have been unfair. Now, it's important to remember, the triangle wasn't perfect. It thrived with Jordan and Kobe, but when Phil Jackson tried to force it in New York with Carmelo Anthony, it crashed and burned. But with LeBron, a player who blends scoring, passing, and leadership like no one else, it might have been the ultimate weapon. But here's the twist. LeBron didn't need the triangle to reach greatness. His career speaks louder than any hypothetical. Let's break it down. 10 trips to the NBA Finals. 8 of them in a row, a streak most players couldn't even dream of. 4 championships, across 3 different franchises. He brought glory to Miami with back-to-back titles in 2012 and 2013. He authored the greatest comeback in NBA history in 2016, leading Cleveland from a 3-1 deficit to beat the Warriors. And he restored the Lakers to championship glory in 2020 inside the bubble. And every single time, he was the Finals MVP. Not just a passenger. Not just part of the story. He was the story. Even while sharing the floor with legends like Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, and Anthony Davis during his Lakers run, LeBron James was the centerpiece. The accolades go on. 21 All-NBA selections, more than anyone else in history. 21 All-Star appearances. 4 MVP trophies, tying him with Wilt Chamberlain, and just behind Kareem, Jordan, and Russell. 6 times named to the All-Defensive Team. And oh yeah, he's also the NBA's all-time leading scorer. And what makes it almost unbelievable? At 40 years old, he's still doing it. Still dominating. Still carrying the Lakers on his back. Just last season, he played in 70 games, putting up over 24 points per night, with nearly 8 rebounds and more than 8 assists, numbers that most superstars in their prime can't even reach. He's entering his 23rd season, extending his own record as the longest-tenured player the NBA has ever seen. And he's still an All-NBA level performer. So, let's circle back. McGrady's claim wasn't meant to take anything away from LeBron. It was a thought experiment, a what-if for the ages. What if LeBron had been molded inside the same system that made Jordan untouchable and Kobe immortal? Would the GOAT debate even exist today? For McGrady, the answer is no. If LeBron had mastered the triangle early, he wouldn't just be in the conversation, he would end the conversation. But here's the beauty of it. Even without that system, even without that supposed missing piece, LeBron James has built one of the greatest legacies the sport has ever seen. He's still rewriting the record books, still defying time, and still making history with every game he plays. So maybe the triangle could have elevated him even further. Or maybe, just maybe, LeBron James never needed it. Because what we've witnessed over the last 2 decades might already be the greatest story basketball has ever told. The Los Angeles Lakers. A name that carries weight, history, and an identity built on legends. A team that has given us unforgettable dynasties, iconic moments, and championship after championship. But let's be honest, the last few years haven't exactly lived up to that golden standard. Last season, the Lakers were knocked out in the very first round of the playoffs, a humiliating and disappointing exit that left fans frustrated and desperate for change. And change is exactly what the Lakers front office has been chasing this entire summer. They've been aggressive, they've been active, and they've already filled some gaps. They added support at the center position. They secured depth at the backup point guard role. On paper, the roster looks stronger. But deep down, everyone knows, it's not enough. If this team wants to compete with the very best in the NBA, if they want to put themselves back in championship conversations, one more big move might be necessary. And now, Lakers fans, that move might just involve a former All-Star, a player with a $109 million contract, and a name that always sparks debate, Andrew Wiggins. Yes, you heard that right. The Lakers are once again being linked to trade talks involving Wiggins. For months, there have been rumors. At first, the Miami Heat, who currently hold Wiggins on their roster, insisted they had no intention of letting him go. They made it clear, Wiggins wasn't available. But here's the thing about the NBA, things change quickly. And as training camp approaches, reports are surfacing that the Lakers and Heat have quietly reopened discussions. Now, what does this mean? According to insiders, the Lakers are prepared to put rookie Dalton Connect on the table, along with some expiring contracts to balance the salary. But here's where things get tricky. The Miami Heat aren't interested in just role players and a rookie. They want something more valuable, something that hurts. They want a future first-round pick. And that's the real dilemma for the Lakers. Are they willing to sacrifice future draft capital for a win-now move? Are they ready to push their chips in for Andrew Wiggins, knowing that he could either be a difference-maker or another gamble that doesn't pan out? It's worth pointing out that the Lakers have been trying to move Dalton Connect for some time now. Ever since they pulled out of the Mark Williams trade, Connect's name has been circulating in trade rumors. Clearly, the front office doesn't see him as a cornerstone for the future. That makes him a logical piece in any package. But the first-round pick? That's where negotiations get tense. So, let's break this down. What would Wiggins bring to Los Angeles? Well, for starters, defense. Right now, Rui Hachimura has been holding down that wing spot. He's solid, but Wiggins, at his best, is a step above defensively. He's versatile, he can guard multiple positions, and he has the athleticism to keep up with elite scorers. On the offensive side, Wiggins can give you buckets, but let's be honest, his scoring has been inconsistent throughout his career. One night he looks like an all-star, the next night he disappears. That's part of the risk. And then there's availability. Wiggins has struggled with staying on the court in recent years, missing significant stretches of games. That has to concern any team considering giving up assets for him. But here's the flip side. When Wiggins is healthy and locked in, we've seen what he can do. Remember the 2022 NBA Finals? He was one of the most important players for the Golden State Warriors in their championship run. His defense on Jason Tatum was critical, and his two-way impact turned heads across the league. That version of Wiggins, the aggressive, focused, high-energy Wiggins, could absolutely change the trajectory of the Lakers. Since being traded to the Miami Heat last season, Wiggins put up solid numbers. Nearly 19 points per game, over 4 rebounds, and just above 3 assists, while shooting close to 46% from the field and 36% from deep. Those are good numbers, numbers that prove he can still be a valuable piece for a contender. But the question remains, do those numbers justify the cost the Lakers would have to pay? And make no mistake, the Lakers aren't alone in this race. Other teams are circling, watching closely, and preparing their own offers. The Heat will go with whoever gives them the most attractive deal. Which means Los Angeles can't just make a move, they have to make the move. They have to beat out the competition, or risk watching Wiggins slip away to another team. So here we are, Lakers fans, at a crossroads. The front office has to make a choice. Do they protect the future, hold on to their draft assets, and trust the current roster to compete? Or do they take the gamble, push their chips to the center of the table, and bring Andrew Wiggins to Los Angeles in the hopes that he can be the missing piece alongside LeBron James, 40 years old, and Luka Doncic? The stakes couldn't be higher. Because the truth is, the Lakers' championship window is not wide open forever. Time is running out. Every move matters. And this decision, whether or not to trade for Andrew Wiggins, could define the season. So now I'll leave the question with you. Should the Lakers go all in for Andrew Wiggins? Or should they wait, protect their future, and hope that the roster as it stands is enough to bring another banner to Los Angeles? One thing's for sure, the clock is ticking, and the entire NBA world is watching.